Hello and welcome to my Skyrim comparison, PC versus consoles. And look, here we see the beautiful world of Skyrim. It's beautiful. The Xbox 360 version, the only version I can get my hands on. And here we have the PC version, and as you can see, the PC version, the grass rolls right off into the distance, the mountains are high detail right into the distance. The draw distances are amazing on the PC version. And as you can see, the Xbox version, console version, looks very sparse compared. This is the exact same spot, and it's the same spot used in the Eurogamer comparison. PS3 versus Xbox, so you can compare what they look like. The Xbox seems to be the slightly superior version with draw distances. Another thing we'll be looking at is textures. There's the Xbox textures of a rock. You can practically count the squares that the texture's made of. And then some rocks. A bit closer to the PC version. The details just uber. Let's just say uber. And these textures are very apparent when you're walking around in game. They're not hard to spot. You don't have to go up close to see them. They do, as walking around, you do actually notice. It just gives off a totally different feel to the game when you're walking around. Totally different immersion level with the draw distances and textures. And the console version's patched and up to date. It's running as it should. It's patched as of the video, running up to date. And here's some draw distances. The grass rolls off with the PC version. Xbox, it just looks like a dead land. It looks very sparse. The grass grows in front of you when you move along, which seems crazy when you play it after the PC version. You can see in the middle of that bush, there's the draw distance fading in and out, not very far. And the shade, nothing in the shade. Yeah, there the stuff pops in the shade. It's the same place as Eurogamer comparison. When the PC version, I've jumped right up the cliff. It's on the side of Whiterun, right up the cliff as far as I can go up the map before it goes out of view. And everything's in order, everything's there, the draw distances, the bushes there, the stuff in the hut, the mountains are high detail, nothing's popping in, no pop-ins, no fade-ins. And here's another vista. You may say, oh yeah, it looks beautiful when you play it on the console, but when you get down to it, the draw distances and the fade-ins, it's just unplayable when you go from PC, or when you play Xbox then you go to PC, your eyes are open to how good the game can be. NPC's right in the distance, which you don't get with the console version. What a shot. You can't do that in the console version because the NPCs don't appear that far. As we see, there's an arrow there. Notice the middle, everything pops in. The mammoths pop in, the trees pop in, detail pops in on the rocks and ground. And NPCs with animals fading in and out. It's hard to be an archer on the console version compared to the PC. It's meant to be long distance, not medium short distance. Sometimes the NPCs will fade out further, and sometimes they fade out short distance. And on the right, you'll notice a marker. An elk will fade in, but if I pull back, it'll probably last a bit longer and then fade. It's that first initial pop in where it pops in on the map. And here we see low quality mountains where they look alright, but there's no debris around the bottom of the mountains. Obviously no grass. Cut the PC vision, same place, and there's loads of debris, like little bits of rocks and such. And on the side of Whiterun we'll see loads of different grades of pop in here. See the trees pop in there, and the waterfalls are like ice blocks, not animated. And as we roll over, and the mountains have no detail, rocks or anything there, everything fades in high detail, even the buildings and the mountains. And the waterfalls turn into the animated waterfalls instead of ice blocks. PC version miles out from the bridge. The waterfalls are animated. All the detail on the mountains, the rocks, the trees are not cardboard cutouts. They're the 3D models where you see they pop in the console, the cardboard cutouts, and then they pop into the 3D models. And the draw distance are all about easing the weight on the weak console graphics cards. It's really off-putting playing it, because you're like, what the fuck just happened there? Everything popping in, you're like, what the fuck? It's really noticeable. It just takes you right out of the game when backgrounds and details are popping in and trees, and it is a what the fuck moment when it happens. Here we see some more textures. Get really close, it just blurs off. Got the PC version. It's higher detail, and the closer you go, keeps its detail. It's like double, treble, quadruple. Better textures. Ground textures. As you can count the squares it's made of, practically. I should have went closer to the flower. Some more detail on the flowers. NPC clothing, another bad point on console. The cloth looks like potato sack. It has no real detail except for the creases. And you've got the PC version and you can see the creases, but that's zoomed in. You can see extra detail in the fabric, like it looks woven. Extra detail in it. The chainmail looks miles better, and the helmet there looked just like a brown blob. The PC version, it looks like it's been crafted. And even the arrows, you can see you can practically count how many feathers the arrows were made of on the flight. And we see some textures inside. And if you zoom in or go really close, they just blur off and they look terrible. Zoom in on the PC, everything keeps its detail. You can see the grains in the wood. And there's a comparison. Even the walls seem more detailed, even when pulled back. More NPC clothing. You can see stitching in it, but basically it's just brown green blob. Looks alright. Then you go to the uber detail PC version, and you go close in, and you can see extra detail. Like it's at the fabrics or the clothing's actually made of something, rather than just being a potato sack. Trees. And I won't go into water because or NPCs faces yet. I could do an extra video on NPCs faces and water. As you can see, there's extra detail as you go close in with the eagle eye, detail on the lips, eyelashes and the eyes. And I should have got a comparison of the Xbox. That'd take another video, the water and the NPC faces. And something you'll be familiar with, the workbench. Fair enough, it looks alright on console. And you go to the PC version, it just looks like it's been used and worked on for a good number of years. And Alvor's clothing, there's like extra detail in. Now, but Alvor's clothing, fair enough, it looks alright. But it's just really a burgundy potato sack. There's some detail on it, there's some different colour shading on it, but you go to the PC version and it takes on another level. And the counter there, and even the sword, and then the detail just blurs off. And the shadows are poor on both versions. They're slightly better on PC, but that's down to the engine. The offloading the shadows onto the CPU, which is not a good choice. Where it is to unload the weight on the console GPUs. There you can just see there's extra detail on the PC. It's there's like glistening glass. Yeah, the shadows are not very good. It's the game engine and the PC's been thrown in with the same game engine, offloading the shadows onto the CPU. And as you know, the CPU is not as good as a GPU with graphical tasks. That's why the shadows look like blocks. More clothing. Nah, there's no real detail. It's just colour shading over that makes the detail and creases. And then PC version, there's quadruple detail as you go in close. Looks like actual woven fabric. And all the surrounding area you'll see pop in, all the wood, and the barrel just pops into quadruple detail. And the thing is with these comparison videos, the fucking irritators, because they stand 20 feet away from a texture and they ask you which is the better texture. Wait, how can you tell? Because you have to go relatively close to a texture to see which is best. So why stand 20 fucking feet away? I don't really think they have a clue what they're doing. And they don't show draw distances, they just show a fucking cutscene. Two cutscenes side by side, which is better? And then they seem to darken one and lighten the other. Oh, that's better because it's brighter. Total fucking shite. I don't think they have a clue what they're doing. And another thing that these videos usually don't give PC justice is bad encoding of videos, and the bad encoding of when you upload to YouTube takes away a lot of the detail. It's not, when it says 1080p, it's not actually 1080p as you'd play it. When you're playing it on a big screen TV, 1080p off, even if you have a 1200p, 1600p monitor, the videos don't really do it justice, and they really bring out all the detail and the textures, and you don't get any jaggies. And you can see far into the distance detail everything just pops out at you, crystal clear. And that's the downfall of the console version. There's more grass growing in. It's a downfall of the console version with games with big view distances. The 720p doesn't really cut it nowadays. You can't really see into the distance. It's blurred, and you're trying to make out what it is, and you're struggling. When you're not used to it, if you're used to it, fair enough, you don't notice, but when you're used to 1080p and above, it's a big step down. And there's some NPCs. I tried to make the Xbox NPC as beautiful as I could, and failed compared to the PC version. Her eyes were just sparkling. And there's the same spot as a Eurogamer comparison, spinning around on the rock outside of Whiterun. And everything looks sparse on the Xbox. The campfire's not there. Half the trees are cut out, cardboard cutouts. The mammoths aren't there. The grass isn't there. NPCs aren't there. Zoom in to the castle and see little NPCs walking about. The banners are flying, and we'll try and pick out some pop in. There's some, say the trees in the middle. The leaves are like fading in on them, extra detail. And there's the castle popped in to detail. Background trees pop in. I think one banner's popped in. The other banner must be on a different LOD. And sooner or later it'll fade in. There we go, there's another. And there's the animated one at the top, where they're all intact on the PC right at the starting point. Yes, 720p doesn't cut it, and you get a screen tearing on the console version, where PC you have VSync. You get no screen tearing. The image quality is just twice as good, really. You get a lot of unwanted artifacts on screen through 720p, and you get ghosting as well on, if you're in third person around the character, you get like a ghosting effect. It's unwanted artifacts, I call it. And you see more textures, and some of the really bad textures, badly textured objects on badly textured cupboards look really odd when they're placed on top of each other. They place really odd on top of each other. Or a well textured object on the console and a bad textured cupboard or table, it looks odd again. And there's the detail on the clothing again, and it has like extra detail, and there it's just a brown blob. A brown blob. And the difference is very apparent when you're playing it. You don't need to go up close to everything. You can actually notice the difference when you're just strolling about, exploring. Compared, you don't need to go really close. As you're walking about, it does pop out at you, the bad textures and the difference in them. I mean, look at the detail on that. And I don't need to show you every texture in the game just to prove it. Yeah, it is different. Or he hasn't shown that, so they must be the same. I think I've shown enough to show that every text in the game is, like I said, double, treble, quadruple times as good. And here's the last texture I'll show you. the map in Dragon Reach, and you're going really close and it just turns to little squares. Going close in the PC version and it doesn't lose its detail. You can actually read the map, it's not like a prop in the room, it's actually a readable map. And I might do another video on water. The water difference, I'd have to go into more detail, spend a bit of time on the water. The console version just has light source reflections, and the PC version has multiple reflections from different sources. There's a lot more going on with the PC version. They've just upped the level of ripples on the console version just to compensate, just to give it a look of something extra. The size of the ripples, there's more ripples on the PC version. They've upped the size so the light reflections stand out more, so it looks like there's a bit more going on, but there isn't. But as I said, I'll have to dedicate a good few minutes just to that if I'm doing this video. And that's how beautiful the PC version can look. The arm is amazing. The detail really pops out, the grains in the metal. Right, I'll have to go. Bye.